Hi, my name is Chad with Peak Heating and Cooling. Today we're going to talk about the air exchanger and how to maintain it and clean it. Today we're working with a Bryant air exchanger. First of all, what I like to do as a service tech if I'm working on the air exchanger is I like to turn the power off. Basically by unplugging it and just leaving the cord off to the side. Next, there's going to be two clamps on the bottom. You want to open them up. Most air exchangers you can take the door off just by hitting it and removing the door. Set the door off to the side. This is basically what an air exchanger looks like. So you're going to have three filters inside the air exchanger. You're going to have three filters that you can vacuum and wash. And then you're going to have one main core filter that also will get pulled out and will wash. First we'll start with the pre-filters. What I like to do is pull them off, and if they're pretty dirty, I like to vacuum them off just to get the gunk off it, and then you can wash them. Next you pull out the core. The core will slide out, and also we're going to wash that off too and show you how. Next, what I like to do is, since you got an existing outlet right here, I like to hook a vac up to it and vac out the inside of the assembly and make sure everything's all clean. Next, we're going to show you how to vacuum out the assembly. Basically, get yourself a nice shop vac, and then what you're going to want to do is get in between all the cracks and all that and get all that gunk. A lot of bugs like to come in there and settle. You want to pull all that out of there just so you have a nice clean assembly. By doing so, just turn on your shop vac. Take a rag and get all the dust wiped off, any kind of other debris that you couldn't get with the shop vac. You might have to dampen your rag, weten it a little bit to get some of the debris off that gets kind of stuck on there, and then you're good to go. A lot of debris or dust obviously consumes over by the motor, so what you're going to want to do is just get in there and just kind of clean it up to the best you can. Like I said, some of this debris gets kind of caked on, so you might have to weten your rag to get it off. So the next step I like to do then is vacuum out the filters. Basically, turn on the header, start those corners, work your way. What you're trying to do is just get the bugs, any of that loose debris off. You're not going to get it all off, but our next step is washing it and actually get the rest of it off. Maybe just up and down the motion. Just get all the bugs and debris off. And then we'll go ahead and we'll wash it. If for some instance you're cleaning these off, these filters don't last forever. Eventually, by washing them and cleaning them every year, twice a year, you're going to start breaking away and they're going to start decaying. If they start decaying like this, it's time for a replacement. For replacing, you can order these through Peak Heating and Cooling. All we're going to need is the model serial of your unit. And we can Next step is we're going to wash these filters off. How to wash these off? I like to use a bathtub. You just got a lot more room to work with. So what you're going to do is turn the water on. You're going to wash the pre-filter first. Just like before, start at one corner. Make your way. Get both sides. Make sure water's going through it. Shake it a few times. Get that settlement through it. Dust. You can unwash it. What I like to do is grab the rag and just kind of get that stuff that kind of sticks to it. Get it off as best you can. You can see a lot of dirt and dust comes off these. Now what I like to do is let it sit and let it dry for a few minutes before putting it back in. Is washing on the core. What you're going to want to do is fill the bathtub up with water. I put a little dish soap in there just to have some kind of way of cleaning it. And then what you're going to want to do, set the core in it. The best way of doing it is letting the core sit for an hour one way and soak and get that debris kind of loose so you can get it off. And then within an hour switch it over, turn it to the next side, let that go for about an hour, and then you're going to want to grab the rag and you're going to want to wipe it off and try to get most of the debris off you can. Also by swishing it up and down, we'll loosen the debris up inside the core. Basically what the core is a way for the air to exchange so you're not losing all the heat when it's bringing in fresh air and exhausting old air out. So what it does is air moves through it one way and moves through it the other way, and it's grabbing some of the heat so that it's not 30 below air coming into your house. It'll actually, in 70-degree air going out of your house, it'll actually mix it and make a little warmer air. But yeah, you're going to want to basically let it soak for a good hour or two in the bathtub and let that debris get loose so then you can take a rag and wipe it off. We need to clean up the core. As a service tech, we don't have a couple hours to give to clean these. So what we do is we like to take them outside, wash them with a garden hose. This is your best way of cleaning the core off. This will get a lot more of the stuff that's caked on it. You'll get that scrubbed off a lot more than by hitting it with a garden hose. So using the tub is your best way of cleaning up the core. What you want to do then is take the core and you're going to want to tip it up like so you can allow the water to drain out of it. The core will hold a lot of water. So I would put it like this and probably leave it for another good hour and just let the water drain out and into the drain. While the system's turned off, is you're going to want to sweep out the hoods outside. Hoods outside, there's going to be two hoods. There's going to be an intake and an exhaust. So basically what I like to do is I got this little broom. I like to get in there. It's going to have a screen on it. Some of these screens are removable screens. This one is not. This one is basically nailed in. So you're going to have to get in there with your broom and just get all the debris swept out. This is a big step. If you forget to do this step, what can happen is this hood will eventually plug up with grass, any kind of debris in the air, and that starves the motor inside for air. The motors can tend to get hot then, and it can take your motor out. So you always want to make sure that you clean off the hood outside. A lot of times, too, you might have to clean this off a few times a year. You're out mowing the lawn, watering the grass, anything like that. Just take a peek at it and just see how it's doing. If it's filling up, turn off the unit so you're not pushing all that debris back into the unit, and go ahead and sweep it out. Put everything back together. First, what I like to do is put the core in. The core is going to have an up arrow. That up arrow should always be up. So basically, what you want to do is find its grooves, up arrow up, and then just slide it home. Then next, you're going to grab your filters. And a lot of these air exchangers will have the arrows on here for where to put the filters. There's one there, and then there's one over here. So what you're going to want to do then, slide the filter home. Slide the filter home. And then what I like to do next is let's put the door back on. The door goes on, it's got two little knobs on the top. Basically, you line up, slide it over, give it a little bang, go ahead and snap it back in place. 2 clicks. Then, the last, you don't want to forget to plug it in. Go ahead and plug the system back in. Next, when you're all done with that, the last little guy most air exchangers have is they have a drain. What you're going to want to do is basically, as you can see, the drain condensates. I like to use clear tubing once again, basically so you can see once it's starting to fill up with debris, then you can get it replaced. The drain also has a trap in it, so that air doesn't push through the drain. They put a trap in it. So you always want a little bit of water in that trap. To clean these out, pull them off, give a good blow through them, make sure you got good flow, and then pour a little water back in it to get that trap. You want to keep that trap. And that is how you clean and maintain your air exchange.